Big Sills, National Football Show. Appreciate everybody coming aboard. Man, it just seems like the Eagles don't play football in the NFL anymore. Huh? Think about how long this football team has been out. You were on Amazon the last game. You haven't played in a while. And now you're going to be on Monday night and you're coming out of a bye too. Interesting. Donnie says, or is it Danny? Get my glasses on here. Let the trolling begin. Let the trolling begin. Washington around the corner on Monday night. Hey, by the way, by popular demand, I put together a Big Sills mid-season all-pro team with all the teams in the NFL. I got an all-pro team here for you. We'll do that. Also, I want to show you a little bit on who you're playing down the stretch here. The 10th easiest schedule in the National Football League. I want to hit on that. Before we get going, though, please hit the like button. Want to throw this out at you. No wonder Daniel Snyder stepped on the gas pedal a little bit when it came to selling his team. Breaking news just a couple minutes ago. The Attorney General of Washington, D.C. has filed a civil suit against Daniel Snyder, Roger Goodell, and the National Football League for the toxic workplace that they have with the Washington Commanders. Also, the way it's sounding, Daniel Snyder defrauding the community when it comes to hiding profits. So they have put a subpoena out there, and it looks like Daniel Snyder is going to be subpoenaed by the Attorney General for Washington, D.C. I can promise you this, Bruce Allen has to be involved in this in some way. It was a horrible ending to that relationship. He was the president of the organization. There is no question the Washington Commanders are not going to be owned any much longer by Daniel Snyder. And I got to say that that's a great thing for the league. You can't have this going on here. Hey, it's one thing to have John Gruden with racist emails. It's another thing for a guy to defraud his partners. There's no question that the league is cooperating, I would think, with the Attorney General here. The faster you get Daniel Snyder out, the better, in my opinion, for the National Football League. All right. Please hit the like button. Let me ask you guys something here. Just having this conversation. Oh, by the way, Jimmy Johnson's not buying the Eagles. He doesn't believe in you. Well, he thinks you're good, but he went on a local Dallas radio station this morning, and he said, I think they're good, but I'm not 100% sold on them. Interesting. I think that's the national consensus about the Eagles, actually. And I'm going to make a point to you here on this. You guys think Jalen Hurts is a star? You think he's a star? In my opinion, he's not a star. He's working himself towards that, but he's not a star right now. Nobody really looks at the Eagles and gives you guys any kind of credit for being 8-0. They look at it like, hey, you guys, it's a really good start. Now, me, on the other hand, I've picked you to go to the Super Bowl. Just so you know, I've picked. Jalen Hurts is not a star yet. He's not. He's not a star. Not a star. You don't become a star in this league over 8 games and beating Kirk Cousins. What has he done to become a star? Not a star. He's not. Now, again, he's working himself to be. I know many of you don't want to hear this. Nobody looks at Jalen Hurts and goes, that's a superstar player in this league. He's not. He's working himself towards that goal. His team is boring as hell. The Phillies had a higher number. Now, again, it was Amazon. It's Thursday, and it was a shitty opponent, so it's not really fair. That's a World Series game versus an Amazon game on Thursday night. But he's not. Josh Allen's a star. Patrick Mahomes, he's a star. Lamar Jackson is a star. Brady and Rodgers, Russell Wilson. Those guys are all stars in this league. Jalen's not. Some of you don't like to hear that. Now, again, he's getting there. He started the year out. Get this, jersey sales. He's not in the top 10. Nobody know who he was. After 8 games, he's second. You've got to consistently do this to be considered a star in this league. You're never going to make Jalen Hurts the face of the league. He's not Michael Vick. But that's okay. I never thought Troy Aikman was the face of the league. I never really thought Troy was a superstar quarterback. There's just certain guys in this league that are stars. All around sports, you could say he's overrated all you want. He's a star. Is Kyler Murray a star? Yeah. First round draft choice. Only player in the history of baseball and football to be drafted in the first round. Has turned the franchise around in Arizona. What was Arizona before Kyler Murray got there? Nobody. Former Heisman Trophy winner? I don't know. What do you think? Is Christian McCaffrey's a star? Christian McCaffrey's a star, dude. Okay? He's a star. Who cares about the face of the league? What is this guy talking about? Well, I'm going to tell you why you don't get any respect for your 8-0 start. Nobody outside Philly thinks you guys are real. Nobody. The team doesn't get the respect level that it should for being 8-0. I'm on your side here. I'm on your side. I listen to all the shows, rarely talk Eagles. Cowboys, Rams, Bucks, Packers. Hell, they talk more about the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields than they do Jalen Hurts. I watched 3 shows on Fox today. Justin Fields, Josh Allen's elbow. I wrote it down. Not one mention of the Eagles today on any show. ESPN, Fox. Nobody is giving you the credit for you being 8-0. Jimmy Johnson said it, so that means it's true. I don't know. Guys built Super Bowl championships. Ships, not one, Howie. But built 3. I don't know. This is comical at best. Really? Okay. We're not the Cowboys. Go look at the history when it gets to the number 1 seed. Our floor is the NFC Championship game. We don't fold, okay? Nobody said you're not a good team. Nobody's giving you the respect. And by the way, I pointed this out yesterday, and it's comical to think that because you have an 8-0 start, you have a star quarterback. You don't. He's playing really good football right now. He's not a star. Not yet. Not yet. Hey, Jimmy G. I don't believe Jimmy G's a star. Even though Jimmy Garoppolo's won a lot of games, I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo's a star. I wouldn't put that there. Joe Buck doesn't definitely like the Birds. Can I tell you why that is? Because Philadelphia and the Eagle 8-0 start, there's not a lot to talk about with the team. There's no drama. That's why the Cowboys are the most watched game every weekend. That's a good thing in a way. It's a good thing. Again, I'm on your side here. I do think Jalen's going to be a star. I do think you're good. Nobody in the country does. Nobody does. Nobody. Yeah, well, I must have missed that, sports. They don't talk about us as much because they don't have the slander to you, Sills. So, do you know what you are, T? Can I tell you what I think the Eagles are? And you tell me if this comparison is fair. The Eagles are the Tim Duncan San Antonio Spurs. You could take that for any way you want. They did win 5 championships. At the end of the day, Tim Duncan won more titles than Shaquille O'Neal did in his career. You're basically the San Antonio Spurs with Tim Duncan. You're not flashy. You have no controversy. There's no talking points. It's not the most entertaining when it comes to 35, 31 games. You just go out and do your job. Wasn't that the theme that Greg Popovich always had for his Spurs? He went like this: do your job. Funny, that's Belichick. You know, outside of Brady, that team was pretty boring too. That team was pretty boring. Michael, thank you. What's wrong with being the San Antonio Spurs? What's wrong with being the Duncan Spurs? Hey, we don't have a lot of shit going around our program like you see in Washington. We don't have a lot of crap going around the room like you see in Green Bay. We just win ball games. We got a quarterback who doesn't care about statistics. He only cares about what? Winning. That's boring. That's boring. But you know who one of my favorite players is of all time? Tim Duncan. No drama, just winning. Look what that guy did for 17 freaking years. Look what that guy did. He just won. End of the day, he had a better resume than O'Neal. Flex says, I told you in training camp, if Hurts throws 200, 300-yard games, we'll go to 9-1, 10-0, and you said absolutely not. Okay, thanks a lot, dude. How many times are we going to revisit that, Flex? How many times, Flex? Okay, I'm wrong. You're one. Congratulations. Take the day off. Okay. I'm making a point why no one's giving you credit. I'm on your side here. I'm not fighting you. I'm not fighting you. All around auto service. The best take comparison you ever said, Big Sills. Flex, I'm kidding, by the way. We're good. You guys are the Spurs. You're not the Chiefs. You're not the Bills. You don't throw for 1 billion yards. You just win games. You're like the Tim Duncan San Antonio Spurs. How much can you really talk about Jalen Hurts, his money, the defense, and the offense on a weekly basis? There's nothing polarizing about the team. That's why you've got people like Jimmy Johnson going, I'm not 100% sold. Why? Because you're not flashy. You don't score a ton of points in the second half. I don't know what that means. If you're killing a team, you're killing a team. Okay? Dan, I was watching your show yesterday, and I got an answer for one of your questions. Let them reserve credit. The team can use humility and motivation. JM, that's my point. The reason you're not getting a lot of love, you're 8-0. Can you imagine the Rams 8-0 or Brady's Bucks 8-0? Kyler Murray got – how about this? Let's go here. Dude, that Cardinal team last year, when they got out to that start, they were talking about Kyler Murray being the most valuable player. They were talking about Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray made $46 million off of being 7-0 last year. Did he not? He made $46 million a year off that fact that he put that team on his back and they were 7-0. Am I wrong? Okay? I've never posted anything anywhere about Tim Duncan except for this, Maniac. I got it. You're kidding. But you know what? He's the most boringest superstar in history. Jalen Hurts is a modern-day Tim Duncan. Merrill told T. Gunn that this is the most talented Eagle team of his career covering the Eagles. So if this is the best ever version of the Eagles, why are we questioning their validity? Because they haven't won shit. You can have the most talent on the planet, Anton. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't fulfill its prophecy, it's a waste of talent. You haven't won anything. Nothing. That's why. Questioning the validity? The validity is you haven't won anything. You haven't even won the East yet. I mean, what are you looking for with an 8-0 start? You have won nothing. Nothing. Richie says, Josh Allen hasn't won shit either. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, they look at the Bills as a better team than you. And they look at Josh Allen as a 10-time better quarterback than Jalen. That's not just me. That's the national consensus. This is what I'm trying to make a point. Don't be so freaking sensitive on it. Okay? We will dominate, Sills. Hey, Nick. San Antonio Spurs dominated too. They dominated. They won 5 NBA championships over a string of years. They were always a 60-win team. But how many times did we always do this, though? Watch this. Shit, the Spurs are in the finals again. No one will watch it. How many times did we say that? Oh, my God, not the Spurs again. I have no interest in it. And yet, you know what? At the end of the day, they had the best basketball dynasty in the last 25 years. That includes the Warriors. Now, the Warriors haven't closed the book on their dynasty yet, but they're off to a tough start. That team at San Antonio with Duncan won 5 titles, and no one wanted to watch him. Would you ever consider Duncan a bigger star than Shaq, Kevin Garnett? Absolutely not. When you talk about that era of basketball, Duncan's far down the list of guys that you wanted to watch. He wasn't must-see TV. What did Shaq call him? The big fundamental. It's almost kind of like Jalen. Jalen's Tim Duncan. He's Tim Duncan. That's not a bad thing. You know, Carson Wentz, and I said this to Xander. Carson Wentz is more polarizing than Jalen. Here's why. Again, polarizing doesn't mean, oh, he's good. More people talk about Carson Wentz shitting the bed, never getting his job back, than they do about Jalen Hurts being 8-0. I hear more people talking about it. Okay? Oh, this guy, look what happened. He'll never get his job. Look what's going on. And that's not a story. That's more of a proclamation. Guy's not even playing and you talk about Carson Wentz. Who gives a shit? He sucks. Jalen Hurts, he conducts himself like Tim Duncan. It's not a bad thing because it results in winning. Jalen's not a drama. Hey, let's go here. Did Jalen create any drama at Alabama when he lost his job? No. Did Jalen create any drama when everybody was going back and forth of whether or not to get rid of Wentz when the two were on the roster together? No. When Jalen had a chance to say anything a little out of the line or out of the box when they played each other earlier this year, I have nothing but the greatest respect for the guy. He was a great teammate to me. I enjoyed being around him. You know, Some people look at Kyrie Irving and go like this. This guy, hey, he's lost numerous endorsements. All people could talk about, though, is Kyrie Irving right now. Because Kyrie Irving is a phenomenal basketball player and a polarizing guy. Your team's not polarizing. It's not really interesting. Watch this. We're just good. Kind of takes on the mettle of the city. Right? Some people go like this, Sills, but winning matters the most. Yes, but not when it comes to selling a league. The San Antonio Spurs and Tim Duncan were never the face of the NBA. Shaquille O'Neal, the Lakers, Kobe, Eagle, Colorado, the spat between Shaq and Kobe and Phil, that's what sells newspapers. That's what gets views. Not Jalen going about his business with the 8-0 Eagles. This is why nobody buys you. This is why people are saying this. Are they one and done? Eagles just beating every team on their schedule. I'm going to get to that here in a minute. And I'm going to tell you why you're boring. And again, I'm on your side. I think you should get more respect than what you're getting. See, the thing is different when you got to come through Broad Street in January. You're underestimating how hostile the place can be during playoff time. No, I'm not. I saw it in 17. I saw it in 17. It's a great environment. By the way, Flex, how many sellouts did you have for the Phillies during the regular season? 6, 7? But when you got into the postseason, the city energized that place, didn't it? The bank was energized. How many sellouts did you really have all year with the Phillies? 7? I mean, everyone's like, got to be the greatest home field advantage in baseball history. Sure looked it. Wasn't quite that way during the regular season, though. AJ is box office? Not really. Not really. Not box office. He's box office in Philly for sure. You have nobody on. When you had Michael Vick on your team, think about how many eyeballs you had on the Philadelphia Eagles. Dude, think about this. Michael Vick star versus Jalen star. Now, again, Jalen's young in the process. You're thinking me not calling him a star is me saying I don't think he's good. I didn't say that. Jalen's not quite a star yet, so he can't put the Eagles in the spotlight. Look at Dak Prescott. Well, he's on the Cowboys. If Dak was in Tennessee, no one would give a shit. I agree. I've always said this about Jeter. If Jeter didn't play in New York, he'd be robbing you out. But because you play in those mega markets like that with the big bullseye and the big franchise, and again, it's not a slight at the Eagle franchise. It's a fabulous franchise. It's one of the most historic NFL franchises. You'll never get me saying anything negative about the franchise. In the history of the franchise, some of the greatest legendary players in the history of the sport have gone through that gear. But when you talk about polarizing, they're not. So where are we getting? Not sure what that means. You guys aren't box office. No one's buying you. You're the San Antonio Spurs. Do you like that mantra? You guys are just lunch pail, miner's cap, turn the light on, go to work. Doesn't sell a lot of newspapers. It's not really polarizing. That's why Jalen, he may be in the conversation for the MVP. He ain't winning it. It's not because he doesn't deserve it. Especially if they go undefeated. Hell, if he loses 1 or 2 games, he still should be in it. But he won't. They would give it to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is box office. They'd give it to Hill before they give it to Hurts. Especially if he gets 2,000 yards. We don't We don't care in Philly. Okay, we'll understand that, though. Understand that. This is why no one thinks you're going to come through and win the Super Bowl. Coach Johnson, I'm going to try to get him on. I got Wantstad tomorrow. By the way, we are working on Bill Romanowski, too. Joe Theismann had to get on an airplane, so hopefully we're going to catch up with Romanowski today. Okay? Everything comes down. Hey, by the way, when you got a franchise quarterback and you're trying to sell tickets, not that the Eagles have to sell tickets. 69.7 is going to roll through that building no matter who the quarterback is. But Kyler Murray sells tickets in Arizona. That's also why he's making $46.1 million. I had a great conversation with a sports writer in Phoenix. He's box office. Anybody could be in that position in Philly. Doesn't matter. You're still going to fill the link. You, of all people, have even told me that. We're the 2021 Milwaukee Bucks. That is another great take. Anton. Jalen Giannis. Giannis is the best player in the NBA right now. Jalen's not the best quarterback in the NFL right now. So I get the take. The Milwaukee Bucks, nobody wants to see the Bucks in the finals. Anton, you got it. How many people do you think want to see the Eagles in the Super Bowl? You know what they want to see in the Super Bowl? They want to see the Chiefs. They want to see the Chiefs versus Brady, Rodgers. Something like that. I want to see the Eagles. They'd rather see Lamar in the Super Bowl than they would Jalen Hurts. Jalen, after 8 games, he's moving the needle. I'm not saying he's not. Again, I'm on your side here. That's who I want to see? No, GT. That's who the American public wants to see. They'd rather see Dak Prescott take on Lamar Jackson in the Super Bowl. Tell me I'm wrong. Ratings dictate that. Or they'd rather see Dak in Kansas City. Tell me I'm wrong. Ratings dictate it. Ratings, views, clicks. That's all people care about today. I don't give a shit about good people. Ask Tim Duncan. When you name some of the greatest players in the history of sports over the last 20 years, Duncan's name will probably be brought up 10th. He's got a better resume than O'Neal. But when you look at, and I'm not saying that Shaq's not better than Duncan. I don't know, man. Probably. That's how America sees things through the binoculars. They look at Jalen Hurts and they go, what a nice story. Here's a kid who was drafted in the second round, is really playing well, and he's really getting better. Then they turn the page. Your team's not very exciting. Sills, what you said is not gold. Okay. Except it is in the ratings. Eagles, Ravens. Lamar Jackson's the star, not Jalen. Do you think there would be viewers with Dallas versus Kansas City or Philly versus Kansas City? What do you think? Okay, Bill Russell versus Wilt. Bill Russell versus Wilt. I don't know. I always thought Chamberlain was the better player. Okay, but the big fundamental, Bill Russell, didn't really score a lot of points, just won championships. When you talk about the greatest team sport champion in American history, people forget Bill Russell. Russell's the greatest team sport champion in American team sport history. And every time you bring up the best players in the NBA, his name's in the top 20. 6'9". 6'9" today? Shit. LeBron's 6'9". That's my point. And here, this is going to go to even more the point. So here's who you're playing the next stretch run here. Haters are going to hate, and the players are going to play. Okay? But don't be upset when people don't give Jalen Hurts an MVP or Darius Slay the Defensive Player of the Year consideration. I had to bring it up to all of you yesterday. Why not Slay for Defensive Player of the Year? Yeah, why not? Gee. And I'm like, Jesus, don't you think that would be in a conversation? It would be if he was a Patriot. Nobody, I think what they're telling you to your face is what you want to hear. But what they truly believe is this. You guys are a one and done. And you get bounced in the playoffs because you'd limited playoff experience. Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey and Fletcher Cox are not experienced when it comes to your team. There's three dudes. It would be interesting to see which teams has the most international fans. No, it wouldn't. It's Cowboys. Cowboys by far. Cowboys, Packers, Steelers, Eagles. Sure. Eagles will earn respect from me if Hurts puts up big passing numbers against the Giants and Indy. Really? Here, let's go into this. 10th easiest schedule doesn't help the cause on what we're saying here. People are saying you're playing the best football. You know what they're not saying? You're the best team. Is that fair? People today, this is what they say about, listen very closely how people talk about the Eagles. They're playing the best football of any team in the NFL. But they don't say this. They're playing the best team. They're playing the best football of any team, and I think they're the best team in the league. I don't hear national people saying that. Here's who the Eagles – you got the 10th easiest schedule to finish the year. This is who you play. Tyler Heinicke on Monday night. Sam Ehlinger. Is that how you say his name? Texas kid? The week after. Then you got Aaron Rodgers. By the way, you see what Fox is doing? Game of the century. Game for decades. The biggest game of the year. Packers and Cowboys Sunday? Listen to the promos on Fox. Hey, it's the game of the year. Legendary franchises. The Packers and the Cowboys. The Packers are 3-6. That's a shitbox game. And you got a team in the Cowboys, you don't really know what you got on offense, but they're promoting it like it's the game of the year. You got Rodgers. Then you have the greatness of Ryan Tannehill. Then you play Daniel Jones. So let me get this right. In the next 5 weeks, here's who you play. Tyler Heinicke, Sam Ehlinger, Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Tannehill, and Daniel Jones. Try getting through that gauntlet of star players. Tyler Heinicke and Sam Ehlinger are really starting quarterbacks in the NFL. That's mind-numbing. Hey, you're right. Nate Sudfeld should have got a chance a couple of years ago to get a look. If you've got dog shit like that as starting quarterbacks and you're facing them, nobody's going to give you respect for that. Nobody. Beating Tyler Heinicke? Sam Ehlinger. Is that how you say his name? I'm hoping. Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Tannehill, Daniel Jones. Hey, then Xander keeps hoping that this kid turns out to be somebody. I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, the last 5 games, he's actually looking pretty good. Then he got Justin Fields. He's picking his game up because you know why? They're coaching him right. They're finally coaching his ass right. Then here's who you have to finish the year. Dak, Christmas Eve. Then after Dak, who's the starting quarterback in New Orleans? Does anyone know? Does anyone know? Where are you going to get respect here? Beating Dak? Probably, because the national media. The national media is only circling one game for the Eagles on their way out the door here to try to get into the postseason. They're waiting for 2 games. Your first playoff game and that Christmas Eve game. The rest of them. Then you end the year with Daniel Jones. So let's look at this gauntlet of quarterbacks you have. Tyler Heineke, Sam Ehlinger, Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Tannehill, Daniel Jones, Justin Fields, Dak Prescott, nobody knows in New Orleans, and Daniel Jones. That's who you finished the year with. I mean, dude, hey, if you're not undefeated, you there's a problem. Look at those shitty teams. When someone says to me this, the Eagles are going to be favored, you think? You think? Tyler Heineke, Sam Ehlinger, Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Tannehill, Daniel Jones, Justin Fields, Dak. I don't know who the starting quarterback is in New Orleans. And then Daniel Jones. Hey, that's why no one respects you. It's not your fault. It's the way the media works. You know it's right, and you know I'm right. It's how the media works. God, the Eagles are playing good football. Are they the best team? No. Again, I picked you to play the Bills in the Super Bowl in March. Can't say I didn't. I was probably one of the first guys to say it. Come on, Sills. Everyone is saying the same shit about the schedule is getting old. That's not where I'm at about the Eagles and how I'm talking about perception, Brandon, and why no one really gives you the credit you deserve. I'm actually, again, on your side. Look at this, number 1 in power rankings, and no one talks about you or no one cares. And everyone thinks, well, hey, they'll get bounced in the playoffs. That's why I compared you to the San Antonio Spurs. It's not a bad comparison. It's a winning comparison. It's a championship comparison. It's a no shit comparison. The San Antonio Spurs actually would fit so well in Philly because you know why? They're lunch pail guys. They don't want to have anybody have more credit than the other guy, and it's a team environment. What's wrong with that? So you're not the flashy nickel. So, what do you care? '91 goes, Sills is just using the national media excuse to show his true feelings. So what would that be? Me taking my prediction back that you're going to get to the Super Bowl? I've been saying you're going to get to the Super Bowl for 6 months almost. Can't use that on me. Don't point that shit at me. I said months ago you were going to win a Super Bowl, or not win it. I think you're going to get beat in the game because you don't have the quarterback to beat one of them guys. But I do think you make it. Four TDs isn't flashy? Against who? What 4 TDs? I forget the game he threw them in. Can you help me again? Help me. I must have missed that. Sills, you're running out of content since We still ain't lost. Running out of content. Let me see here. My 6th page, my 7th page, my 8th page, my 9th page. Oh yeah, here my 10. I got 10 pages of content. I never run out of content, ever. I have never in my 33 years of broadcasting run out of content, my friend. Seals actually believes in us. He's just keeping it accountable. Anton, look at Anton. Think of it, and I appreciate that, Anton. Thank you. Think about what I said. They didn't like that I compared them to the Spurs who won 5 titles. Think of that. How ignorant some people are. I compared them to a franchise that's boring, but won 5 titles. I picked them to go to the Super Bowl, and that's not good enough. They want me to sit here like I'm some sort of chick in a skirt with pom-poms waving the Eagle banner. Never happened. Never happened. This is why, again, radio, you got cheerleaders on that thing. I'll tell you the way it is. And what I'm trying to give you is kudos. And I'm saying this, you should take that merit badge and do this. It's us against the world, man. It's us against the world. Nobody believes it. Hey, let me ask you this. I can remember that parade on Broad Street. And what was Jason Kelsey's line? How do you like us now? They had that us against the mentality of the world back then. What's wrong with it now? Nobody believes in us. That's how I'd go around it. We got this? I think you do. 8-0? Are you trying to tell me something I don't know? Actually, we talked about Daniel Snyder, the media, the quarterbacks that you're going to be lining up and playing. I've talked about 6 things already. Bro, see, this one dude here, he only hears what he wants to hear, but that's standard. If I say 3 hours of something, you'll take 5 seconds of what I say, and it was the whole show. It's all good, dude. You could take the day off, brother. If it's so boring for you, take the day off. Brian, at the end of the day, listen what I just did. Listen what I did. I compared the Eagles to the Spurs, who won 5 NBA titles, had one of the greatest dynasties of all time under Greg Popovich. Said Jalen's Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, I would say Tim Duncan's the greatest power forward in the history of the sport. But I'm a hater. Okay. Really? Oh my God, Jalen's the greatest thing of all time. No. Sports, nobody blocks anybody, man. Unless you're rude and you say some nasty things when it comes to swearing. You denigrate other people. That's how you get blocked here. Not because you have a different take than me. See, I'm a big boy here. We don't hang up on callers. It's always been a mantra of mine. I actually embrace that. Think I want somebody yesing me to death? I hate those people. That's why I married my wife. How you doing? Yeah. Backhanded compliments. Eagle fan, hey, they're just backhanded compliments calling you the Spurs? Okay. Duncan made everybody better. Really? Mr. International. You missed my super chat, Dan. I'm sorry, bro. I apologize, man. Sill's doing the Kirk Cousins dance. I don't have my chains on. Sill's figured out the top button. Actually, Wick, my dog ate it. The Eagles won't go one and done because before the season, our goal was to win one playoff game. After the Bucs lost, now we have higher goals. Okay. Once again, potential, but it's all good. I'm full of it. Which part? I missed it. So you say Hurts is Duncan, but then say I never thought Tim Duncan was a polarizing superstar in the NBA. He wasn't a polarizing star. Every time the Spurs got on TV, everyone went, shit, not the Spurs again. No one will watch. Spurs and Nets? I mean, really? Do you even remember they played in the finals? I'll take that compliment that the Eagles are the Spurs every day, twice on Sunday. Some don't like it because you know why? They want to be the belle of the party. You're not. Nobody thinks that your football team is going to run through the tape. Nobody. I haven't heard one person say the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. I have not heard one team. I haven't heard anybody in Philly say that yet. They're going to win it. Have some balls. At least I say you're not going to, but you're going to get there. How about somebody saying and having some balls and go on the record? I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. Name me one person who said they're going to win the Super Bowl. Fanatic, Whip, Inquirer. I haven't heard anybody say they're going to win it. I haven't heard anybody say it. JM goes, Vegas has said it. Yeah, because you're 8-0. Start losing ball games, the money will start shifting other places. The money's shifting right now with the Eagles because they're 8-0. Guarantee you that money starts going the other place when it starts getting closer to the playoffs. I lived in Vegas. I know how it works, homie. A few people have the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Can't recall the names. Oh, okay. Anonymous sources. They must be the Russians. Joaquin, thank you for coming aboard. Yeah. Money's leaving the Bills? Should, because of the injury factor right now. SJ dog mentality, I love it. I've been saying it about to get that Super Bowl tattoo. Oh, 8-0, you're going to get a tattoo? God love you, man. Rich Eisen said that the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. Okay. Hey, by the way, I put together a mid-season all-pro team. This will be at the top of the hour. So you don't get your respect. And by the way, Jason Kelsey went on WIP today. You know what he even said? Hard for me to talk about going undefeated. That's a Tim Duncan mentality. These guys are talking about going 1-0 every week. They're not looking at the big picture. You shouldn't. Because the big picture sometimes will take you down. You got to worry about the next 60 minutes of football. You got to worry about the Washington Commander things. Even though that's a shitbox organization. Hey, and for the record, look at how well and run your organization is to these two next shitbox organizations you're playing in the next 2 weeks. Daniel Snyder, who runs a brothel in Washington. And then you got the pill popper, Jim Irsay, on the backside of that. Making all these crazy decisions. I can't tell what's going on in Indy. I can't tell how many quarterbacks and coaches you've gone since Andrew Luck. It's been since Chuck Pagano. How many coaches and quarterbacks? Look at the instability in these These two franchises, not that it's your fault, kick their asses. But look at how dysfunctional the next 2 weeks are going to be, keeping your eyeball on the dude. People are talking more about Washington and the shit going on in Washington with the Commanders than they are the Eagles being 8-0. Doesn't that tell you anything you need to know? Legal brothel in D.C. Damn right. It's called the Commanders or whatever they call themselves. Look at that thing. That's perfect for Philly. Go in there, kick their ass, get out, go on to the next nightmare. Kick that team's ass. Jim Irsay will fire whomever next. I didn't realize that Jeff Saturday's the new head coach. I thought he was the interim guy. Irsay's talking like he's the head coach. I'm like, wow, that's remarkable. No coaching experience whatsoever. Eagles' first loss better not be to Jeff Saturday. Hey, Anton, the only way that I think that may happen is because they're laughing so hard that they lose their focus. Dude, all these games that these guys have won, I think you guys have taken this whole, or some of you, not all of you, I think some of you have some brain cells about you. I called you guys the San Antonio Spurs who won 5 championships. Nobody looks at the Eagles and thinks they're going to win the Super Bowl, or very few. Rich Eisen, of course. He now is jumping on the bandwagon here. I've been saying you're going to get to the Super Bowl since March. Funny, nobody in Philly is. Your own hometown. You got a national guy saying that the Eagles are going to win a Super Bowl, but nobody local. They're all going for the ride because they don't believe in Jalen. They like Jalen. He's playing well. How come nobody goes on the line and goes like this? The Eagles are going to win a Super Bowl, and he is the guy. Where's the headlines in the Inquirer on that? Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback and the franchise quarterback. Shouldn't the headlines with an 8-0 start? I'll tell you this. Dallas Morning News, if Dak Prescott had an undefeated record right now and had a team that the Eagles have, the Dallas Morning News would run headlines. Dak's the best quarterback in the history of the Cowboy franchise. Not in Philly. I already told you he's winning the Super Bowl. Been telling you that for months. Stu goes like this. That's a lot. Whatever, guy. Go back and read them. Go back and watch the shows. I don't have to pull anything up again. It's documented. It's documented. Whatever, Stu. I don't give a shit if you believe it, actually. The hate for Jalen? What hate? Big, tell me what I said that's hate for Jalen. What is in this whole hour, where did I say hate? Where did I have one moment of hate for him? Bills, I've been saying Bills, Eagles, Super Bowl since March. Xander, maybe Stu's right. Maybe it's May. Maybe May. He may be right. Maybe May. Josh Allen not winning a Super Bowl this year. Too many turnovers. Bills winning it, right? Yeah. He thinks Bills. I do think Bills. It's 8-0. I do. Bills are done. You've clowned him your whole existence. No. I've said this about Hurts. Not sold on him. 8 wins. And then the gauntlet of guys, Tyler Heineke, Sam Ellinger, Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Tannehill, Daniel Jones, Justin Fields. Look at these gauntlet of teams. Let's see if there's any winning teams here that you guys are playing. Let's see how many winning teams you're playing way out the door. You've played 2 so far, correct? In 8 games, you've played 2 winning teams. Let's see how many winning teams you have right now on the schedule. Washington, no. Indy, no. Packers, no. Tennessee, yes. Giants, yes. Chicago, no. Cowboys, yes. New Orleans. You're playing 3 teams that have winning records. So you'll play 5 teams this year with winning records. Yeah, love it. Prescott is a good quarterback, and Sills, Prescott hasn't done shit either. I agree. I think, hey, William, I've said this, and I'll say it again to you. Sports goes, Hurts will never throw for 4K. He hasn't. I said this, my friend, if Dak Prescott doesn't beat Jalen Hurts on Christmas Eve, I think the Cowboys should move off his ass. What's he done? Where are you going with him? You got $45 million a year tied up in that guy. What in the world and where in the world are you going? Okay? You got the 10th. That's not true. Look at the guys you're playing. Hold on here. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to do one more time, and I'm not going to bring this up again. The Buffalo Bills schedule. Let's take a look at one thing here with the Buffalo Bills, okay? And let's take a look at the quarterbacks. Let me do it one more time here. Here's who you're finishing with, the 10th easiest schedule in the league. Tyler Heineke, Sam Ellinger, right? Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Tannehill, Daniel Jones, Justin Fields, Dak, whoever has the job in New Orleans, I don't know. And you finish up again with Daniel Jones. Here's the quarterbacks the Bills have played. They played Matt Ryan, Russell Wilson, Matt Stafford, Tua Tagovailoa, Lamar Jackson, and 1. Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. You got the Vikings this week. And you guys have played, let me see. Jared Goff, I'm going to write these down. Let me see. For the 8-0 start, let's see. This is really interesting. I never thought about the quarterback play that you're playing against. Goff, Trevor Lawrence, Cousins, Wentz, Murray, Cooper Rush, K1, and who's the guy with the Texans? Who's the guy with the Texans? What's his name? Is it David Mills? David Mills. So let's take a look at this season for the Eagles. Wait till next year. It is going to be a gauntlet of quarterbacks that you're going to be playing. So you're going to play this year. Jared Goff, Trevor Lawrence, Carson Wentz, Kirk Cousins. Okay, Kirk's having a good year. Let me circle that. Kyler Murray, rich guy. Cooper Rush. David Mills. Tyler Heineke. Sam Ellinger. Ryan Tannehill. Daniel Jones. Justin Fields. Nobody in New Orleans. Dude, the only guy you play is really Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins. And you're 8-0. Now I see why people are saying I don't believe him. I'm not 100% sold. I get it. Holy cow, man. The greatness of, so let me get this right. In the last 2 weeks, in the next 3 weeks, you would have played David Mills, Tyler Heineke, and Sam Ehlinger before you get to Rodgers, a true NFL quarterback. Let me have that sink in again. David Mills, Tyler Heineke, and Sam Ehlinger in the next 3 weeks. Whew. Oh, I forgot the greatness of Kenny Pickett. Trevor Lawrence, got to pick it up. Look at this. Richie, you better, you better be good than these guys. You better beat Sam Ehlinger, David Mills, and Tyler Heineke. You guys are trying to get medals for beating nobodies. And those teams are run by nobodies. They're bad teams with bad quarterbacks. We're 10-0. And no one believes it. You want us to forfeit? No. That's why, again, I came out today defending you on why people are saying this about you. They look at the same shit I look at. They ain't playing anybody. They're not playing against elite quarterbacks. They're not playing against elite guys. We'll see. Dak's got to win Christmas Eve. He's got a lot of pressure on his ass too. David Mills, who gives a shit what his name is? Could be Sam Mills. I don't care what it is. Mills. Tom Mills. Okay. The company that makes cookies. I don't care what Mills it is. Rodgers is washed? Maybe. Still a pro quarterback. Josh Allen not going to the Super Bowl. Okay. All right, let me move off this. Try giving you guys compliments. Sills will have his cowboy helmet up on Christmas Eve. Not true. Absolutely not true. Absolutely. All right. Big Sills, midway point of the season, all-pro team. These are the guys that I think have played the best football in the National Football League so far to the midway point of the season. How many of your favorite players are on this list? We'll do that next. Please hit the like button. Hour number 2. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Since 1977 at Rafferty Subaru, we have always been about our customers and the community. Early on, a safe and durable option, we've evolved to become the best overall brand according to Kelley Blue Book. Over the last 14 years, we've donated thousands of dollars through the Subaru Share the Love event and found homes for hundreds of pets. The Rafferty family is proud of our 45 years in business. This month, celebrate our anniversary with special financing on select models. Visit us and see why.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Hour 2, National Football Show. Your boy Big Sills. Appreciate you coming aboard. Thank you so much. Let me say this to you about our friend Herschel Walker. Why? Boy, I'll tell you, man. And by the way, not a political speech, but to get involved in politics, you got to have a real big backbone. You have to. Herschel's been on our program. I've been friends with him for a long time. And some of the stuff that you have in your past gets brought up. Why? Do you really want to go there? I mean, look, some of the stuff that's said, I had no idea. I don't know what's true or not. And I'm not making a political speech on who should vote for this and that. I just know the guy I played with. And I'm just like, why? Okay? Why? You know what I mean? Is that a hill you want? Like Kyrie Irving just lost his Nike deal. Phil Knight says, I doubt we go back. Posted something on his Twitter page, not going into it. But I'm going to say this. Is that a hill you really want to stand on? You know, is that something you want to put on the line where, get this, your take or your belief, and you're willing to sacrifice it on something like that? Me, man, it's more about my kid, you know, improving my standard of living. It's more about that. I'm more like work pale stuff. That shit, man, when I was younger, when you're younger, I guess you think like that. I guess you think like that when you're younger. Anthony's not only my friend, but he's a teammate. Do you know him? Do you know Herschel Walker, Anthony? Or are you one of those guys that know somebody from afar and talk shit on him? Probably. It's all good. Stand in line. Let me throw a very interesting stat at you about the Dallas Cowboys before we get into the Big Sills midway point all-pro team. Do you know that the Dallas Cowboys do not have a 100-yard receiving player on that team so far this year? Do you know that? Do you know the Giants are the other team? So you're trying to tell me you think a team like the Giants with their record is real when you don't even have a guy on that team in an NFL passing league, that you don't have a receiver that's had a 100-yard game yet? You got CeeDee Lamb on that team. And you don't have a receiver so far at the midway point. Okay? At the midway point that has a 100-yard game? Wow. The Giants, I get it. Daniel Jones. But, dude, that says a lot to me. The Cowboys are in desperate need of Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know if Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be the thing that's going to save him. So you're going to go into the game against the Eagles on Christmas Eve with suspect wideouts and a suspect running game. This is kind of what I talked about in the first hour. You're superior to Dallas. The Eagles are superior. That's not how it's being painted. That's not how it's being painted. I mean, you're not You're not going to go into a big-time ball game with not having a prolific running attack or a prolific passing attack. You got to have one or the other. Dude, CeeDee Lamb is not a number one wideout. He is not a number one wideout. Charles goes, we don't care about the Cowboys. You should. They've owned you with Dak Prescott. You should. They've owned you. Owned. He's 7-3 versus you guys. Owned. Yeah, but we're better this year. We'll find out Christmas Eve. We shall find out. Half the people in this chat, if their life was put under a microscope, rage. Trust me when I tell you, your life in a microscope is not always a good thing. It's not. Because people say the craziest things about you because they think they know you. They don't. Me, I try to get as close as I can to people who listen to me. And that's probably my fault. Because most people who are on the air are bullshit artists. I can't. I'm not a very good liar. I don't lie very well. I can't. People know it immediately. Because I'm not a conniver. Just not. All right. Let's get to our all-pro team. Here is the Big Sills. Halfway point, mid-season, all-pro team. Let's start with the offense. Right tackle. Lane Johnson, Philadelphia Eagles, playing great ball. Last week, a little bit against the Texans, kind of gave up some pressures. All in all, he's played spectacular. He's played spectacular. Right guard, Chris Lindstrom, Atlanta. One of the reasons why the Atlanta Falcons are leading that division in the NFC South, they've improved that old line. This kid's having a hell of a season. He is a good-looking football player. Atlanta got better in their lines. That's why they're starting to beat teams. That's why they're getting better. And Marcus Mariota's benefiting a little bit from it. No, the center, Creed Humphrey, Kansas City, best center in the sport. Kid in Detroit is also very good. And, of course, Jason Kelce. Those three guys are your dominant centers in the league. But right now, Creed Humphrey is playing the best center of anybody in the NFL. Really a great-looking football player. Left guard, Joe Pitano, Cleveland Browns. One of the reasons that they're an excellent run game and one of the absolutely great run attacks is because they got some really good players in that offensive line. Left tackle. Here's a stunner. This would be a place where I'd put Trent Williams, but because he's missed so much ball, you can't put him in there. He's missed a ton of ball games. This is one of the reasons why the New York Giants and Saquon Barkley are playing well, in my opinion, is because of the fact that Andrew Thomas is playing great ball. He's a good-looking left tackle. I mean, he is on the midway point of the season all-pro team for me. Love him. Tight end. On the Big Sills all-pro mid-season, midway point all-pro team, Travis Kelce, Kansas City. He has to be putting up this type of season to hold off Dallas Goedert. Okay? Dallas Goedert's in the conversation. Kelsey's having a better season. In the slot, wide receiver, A.J. Brown, Philadelphia Eagles. Absolutely having a great year. Wide receiver, I'm going with a 3 wide receiver set. one back. Stephon Diggs, wide receiver, Buffalo Bills. The other wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, Miami Dolphins. Running back, Tennessee Titans. The King returns, Derrick Henry. And your quarterback on the Big Sills All-Pro midseason team, Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. So your offense, right tackle Lane Johnson, Eagles, Chris Lindstrom, Falcons, right guard, Creed Humphrey, your center from Kansas City, Joe Bitonio from Cleveland, your left guard, Andrew Thomas, left tackle, New York Giants, your slot wideout, A.J. Brown, Eagles, your tight end is Travis Kelce, tight end, Kansas City, wide receiver, Stephon Diggs, Buffalo Bills. The other wideout is Tyreek Hill, Miami Dolphins. And your running back is Derrick Henry, and your quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. Now to the defense. I thought about this last night. I'm going to play with a flex, my team. My flex DB is Jack Jones, New England Patriots. They got a hell of a secondary up there. They're not winning a ton of ball games with their offense. They are winning some games up there with their defense. They got a pretty good secondary, and Belichick has been known for that. Safety, Derwin James, best in the game. Los Angeles Chargers, former Florida State Seminole. Can he play? And he is a hitter. Man, okay? The other safety, Malik Hooker, Dallas Cowboys. Kid's good. Kid's good. Actually, I think he's outplaying Diggs in the secondary. Here's your corners. Sauce Gardner, New York Jets. This is all you got to say about Sauce Gardner. Watch him. And you'll see why people look at him. I'll tell you what, I didn't know how good he was in Cincinnati when he was in college, but he is a ball player. That kid is good. And I don't want to use the word great on a rookie, but that kid is good. The other corner, Big Sills mid-season All-Pro team. Darius Slay, Philadelphia Eagles. Having a great year. And I said yesterday that I think he should be in consideration, in my opinion, for the NFL. In my opinion, I think he should be in the conversation for the NFL Defensive Player of the Year. But because nobody respects the Eagles outside nationally, I had to bring it up yesterday for somebody to even go, oh, yeah, that's a great – why haven't I thought about that? Yeah, because everybody's kissing the ass of Michael Parsons in Dallas. And yet that Cowboy defense gave up 240 yards rushing to the Chicago Bears. How can you be the defensive player of the year when you're on a team that can't stop the run? I find it blows my mind. Here are your linebackers. Levante David, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one of the very few bright spots on that Todd Bowles defense. The other linebacker, who I think is a Pro Football Hall of Famer, Bobby Wagner, Los Angeles Rams. Like to put Fred in there, Fred Warner from the Niners, but he's missed a little bit too much ball for me to go in there. Here's your edge rushers. Micah Parsons, Dallas Cowboys. He is having a good year. If I were the Cowboys and I was Dan Quinn, I wouldn't drop him so much in coverage, but okay. The other edge rusher, Myles Garrett, Cleveland Browns. Heck of a ball player. Here's my 2 D tackles. Jeffrey Simmons, Tennessee. And a guy who's going to get a lot of run for Defensive Player of the Year, Quentin Williams, New York Jets. He is a wrecking ball. That Jets defense gets after folks. You got a great cover corner, and you got a great pass rusher. That seems to be the recipe for stopping teams right now. It just seems to be a recipe for it. So, Jack Jones in my flex spot in the secondary, New England. Derwin James at safety, Los Angeles Chargers. Malik Hooker, Dallas Cowboys, safety. Sauce Gardner, New York Jets, corner. Darius Slay, Philadelphia Eagles, linebackers. Levante David, Buccaneers. Bobby Wagner, Rams. Edge rushers, Michael Parsons, Cowboys. Myles Garrett, the other edge. And your 2 interior guys, Jeffrey Simmons, Tennessee Titans. And Quentin Williams, New York Jets. You put any game film on with these guys, these are your elite dudes that are playing right now in the NFL. And I'll tell you, the kid, Malik Hooker, is playing really great ball too. Has been a factor on that defense in the secondary. If I were to pick out of this, the offensive MVP at the midway point, but here in my offense, I think Tyreek Hill is the MVP offensively. Right now, would you not say this? In the NFL, the offensive player of the year at the midway point is Tyreek Hill. Or who would you pick someone else? Hill's on pace to do historic things. Okay? He's on pace to do historic things. When you think Tyreek Hill, of all the players in the league offensively, that would be considered your Mahomes more impressive over Tyreek? How many touchdowns does he have? Does Mahomes have? It's got to be over 20, right? A.J. Brown is not more impressive than Tyreek Hill. CJ leading the league in picks, not an all-pro safety. He'll make second or third team. Who do you want me to replace him with? Derwin James? CJ's not better than Derwin James. Not happening. And the kid Hooker, I think, is playing better. By the way, you've heard me raving about CJ. I think he's playing great for what they've asked him to do. He's a corner. And Sheldon, that's the key. Hooker hits people, puts people on the ground. CJ's not the greatest tackler on the planet. He's not. He's not the greatest tackler. Okay? He's not. Most of these guys here get people on the ground, too. They're really good tacklers. Yeah, CJ doesn't really tackle very many people. Not that hot. I'll tell you what, if I were to pick the defensive player of the year right now, here's who I would put in order. Let me do top three. The three best defensive players right now at the midway point. Boy, I like Quentin Williams with the Jets. Boy, I'm with you. I'm with you, Sheldon. How do you not have Quentin Williams? I think his impact on that Jets team has been absolutely enormous. And I just don't want to be a guy that falls in line with what everyone else is doing when it comes to Micah Parsons. I look at Micah Parsons, and I want to say this one more time to you here. Micah Parsons, I think he's a really good football player. But when I watch Micah Parsons play, is he the most destructive player in the game defensively? He's the guy that he's awful good. That's another great point. What's a tougher position to play? Edge rusher or lockdown corner? No question, lockdown corner. Personally, I think lockdown corner is the hardest position to play in the NFL. Playing cornerback, you're running backwards the majority of the game. You're running backwards with world-class sprinters, and you've got to somehow not get pass interference called on you in today's NFL. How do you do that? I tell everyone this. You want to get a good sense of what that is? Get the fastest guy in your cul-de-sac and run backwards for 60 minutes of football. Just keep running backwards and see how that feels and see how many times that you could stop a guy from catching a football. I mean, you have got to be. I just think Quentin Williams has been playing great. So if I had to put my three here, I would put Micah Parsons, Darius Slay, and Quentin Williams. Those would be my three right now for the midseason point. Player of the year on defense. Parsons, Cowboys. Slay, Eagles. Quentin Williams, New York Jets. You're running backwards, and they only let one white guy in 20 years play back there. The kid from New York, right? Is that what you're Hey, Joseph, the kid from New York, I forget his name. Is that who you're talking about? Funny. What was that kid's name from New York? I forget, man. I forget that guy's name. Joseph, who was he? Yeah, right, Seahorn. Jason Seahorn. Yeah, Jason Seahorn. That's right, man. I forgot. Even Shannon Sharp used to go, "What are you doing back here?" That's hilarious. Offensively, hey, by the way, Jalen Hurts, second or third team All-Pro on the Big Sills team. Got to put Josh Allen. Josh Allen second. Is Jalen third? Let me think. Is Jalen third? Jalen going to be on the All-Pro team? Because it's three teams. You think that Jalen makes the third? Wait a minute. I thought Archuleta was a safety. What other quarterback would you put ahead of Jalen Hurts for third team? He makes the third team. That's money. Let's see. It's going to go Mahomes, Allen. Would you put Cousins ahead of him? He outplayed Cousins. Can't put Murray ahead of him. Who would go ahead of Jalen? Just like the NBA. Oh, Lamar. You're right. Jalen doesn't make the All-Pro team. It's Lamar Jackson. Shit, you might even go like this, depending how the season ends. You may go Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and then Jalen. Look at that, though. Sanders said this a couple weeks ago. Look at the names Jalen's being brought up into the conversation with. How about this? Will Jalen Hurts be the starting quarterback for the NFC? Oh, that's right. They're not playing the Pro Bowl. They're doing some other thing. But will he be the Pro Bowl starting quarterback? I don't know how they're going to do that this year. For the record, I don't know how they're going to do that. I have no idea how they're going to play that out because they're not having the game. They're doing skill stuff, but I think they're still naming a team. So would he be the starting quarterback for the All-Pro team or the Pro Bowl team? Yeah. Anybody else playing better football in the NFC than him right now? Kyler Murray's not. Cousins is playing good, but he got outplayed by him. I think you hold that against Cousins. Shit the bet on that Monday night. Dak. Oh, there it is. Media will vote Dak because they don't believe in Jalen. See, Jalen, man, this is the stuff that I started the show out with. You think Jalen Hurts is going to get all of a sudden all this love and whatever? No way. It's not how it works. That's not – people in Detroit don't look at Hurts and go, that's elite. People in Pittsburgh don't say that. I'm talking media. They don't say that. Almost outplayed by Heineke. Shit, he lost to Daniel Jones last year. Back of the pack, Dak. Hey, that's true. That's right. Hey, by the way, we're talking about Jalen Hurts through 8 games here. We're not talking about anything that he's done yet, that you get the equity to go over Lamar or Allen or any of these other guys. You know, they've done nothing. They've done nothing, actually. Am I right? Allen's won a couple playoff games. Hurts hasn't won one yet. I mean, we got to get somewhere there first. You mean whack Dak? Hey, I don't like Dak Prescott either, dude. What's Lamar done? He's won a unanimous MVP, led the NFL in passing yards, and he's won 75% of his games. What's Allen done? Won a couple playoff games, taking his team to, I think, a conference championship game. Won a division title already. I mean, I don't know. What's Jalen done? Far from those guys. Okay, I mean, really, far from them guy. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't won anything yet. Those guys at least have something tangible to hold on to. Hey, music. Not only does Lamar have 100 TDs, okay, he's got a unanimous MVP award. He's 25 years old. And hey, that goes into this. I wrote this down too. Let me transition into this. That way to go, man. Division title? How about you win one playoff game? Sills, Allen or Lamar? God. Hey, Allen over Lamar, no question. Allen or Lamar? I said division title, jackass. Not division title. That's a conference title. Who do you think won the division in the AFC East last year? Miami? Allen won a division title. Okay? And he's won a playoff game. Your boys won nothing. Lamar wins more and played in a tougher division. Okay. Let me transition into this. Who's got the most to play for this year? I'm going to name some names here. Tua, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones, which one of these guys has the most to gain? Which one? Tua Tagovailoa, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Geno Smith, or Daniel Jones? Let's look at this for a minute. What's Tua playing for right now? He is so, I'll tell you what, I almost said it. He's really playing good. I mean, the weapons that they have spent and put in that offense, the Miami Dolphins look completely different than they did a year ago. I get it too, man. You add in a, how about this? Tyreek Hill's playing better football in Miami than he did when he was with Patrick Mahomes. Drew, I said, who's got more to gain here? He's got more to gain. The coach that they have down there in Miami, let me say this to you. Is Tyreek Hill playing better football with Tua Tagovailoa than he is or did with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid? And don't tell me, well, he's the only target. That ain't true. You got another kid on the other side who's on pace for a big year. And Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle is no slouch. That kid's putting up numbers too. I mean, you got a new version of Duper and Clayton in Miami. And Tagovailoa is completely taking advantage of this. Okay? Waddle is number 5 in NFL in yards. Xander saying, look, get this. If you're remember when Tyreek Hill, and I went like this guy's an ass. Remember when he said this? Tua's more accurate than Mahomes. Didn't we all laugh? I know I did. Nobody in their mind went like this. Remember, Tyreek Hill was tooting the horn to Tua, going like this. This guy, man, he's better than you think. Hey, this guy's more accurate than Mahomes. Hey, this guy here, I'm telling you, he's going to have a big year. Sheldon, right? He wasn't lying. The problem is durability and availability with him. Okay? Jesse goes, Sills, would you keep Tua or trade for? Dude, I know that this is the question. We're gonna circle back and we're gonna pick a guy here. That guy is playing for the face of the franchise in Miami, and he's doing it. I'll make a point to you. He's more impressive than what Jalen's doing. This guy's getting the football to 2 guys every game. I mean, when you look at a stat line for Dolphins, 10 catches. Wasn't there a game this year that both guys had over 11, 13 catches in a ball game? The game he threw for almost 500 yards. Hey, I'll tell you what. I haven't seen an Eagle game where I've seen a boatload of passes going to everybody. You watch a Miami Dolphin game, Tagovailoa spreads it around, man. He does. He spreads it around. The coach down there, he's a better passer. Jalen's more complete. I told you that. Okay? I want to talk about Lamar next. But these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that have a boatload of stuff to play for here. Okay? Okay? No. I'll come. It's good. It's good here because I got a lot more to say here, Xander. Let's take a short time out here. We'll reset it. And the question again, I want you to think about it. Tua, Lamar, Jalen Hurts, we'll get to Jalen. Geno Smith, Daniel Jones. Who's got the most to play for this year? Hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
It's a fall car fest, and Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says, yes, you can. Jeff says, yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says, yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say, no, you can't, Jeff says, yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust,
Go Birds!
and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
At Salus University, our graduates are among the most highly trained in their profession because of our unique emphasis on research, interprofessional collaboration, and early clinical exposure. Learn more about our programs at salus.edu.
Hit the like button. Big Sil's National Football Show. How you doing? I love this topic. Jalen ain't the only guy this year that's got a lot to play for. There's other quarterbacks that are playing for a lot of money, a lot of recognition. We just talked about Tua and the job he's doing. He's winning that job in Miami. He's winning it. How about Lamar Jackson? How about the Stundines on this guy? Here's $250 million. We love you. Nah, that's all right. Boy, hey, this ain't the NBA, man. That money's not guaranteed fully. He just went like this, the $250 million. I could do better. I'm going to show you. I think I'm worth more. Every day he steps on the field, he takes a chance of getting nothing. What if he has a catastrophic injury? He's out. He is playing the ultimate roulette game. If you're an organization and you're a football player in that Ravens locker room, are you freaking kidding me? It's the most inspirational thing I've ever seen with a player rolling the dice. He said this to every guy: I'm willing to sacrifice my livelihood, my generational wealth to win games, to show everybody I'm the leader in this locker room. I'm the guy. Yell goes, he must have insurance. Ain't $250 million worth of it. He may have a $10 million Lloyd's of London, but it ain't. Oh, this guy's not insured for $250 million. Shit, the premium alone is $3 million. I had a Lloyd's of London policy in college. But believe me, the premium is an enormous thing. Okay? This guy's in the locker room going, hey, man, I'm rolling the dice. I'm going to show you guys I'm your dude. Every single day that guy plays the way he plays, Lamar Jackson takes the chance of getting nothing. But he rolls the dice knowing that it could be a king's ransom, that this guy could win the Powerball at the end of the year. Imagine that. He could even do this. What if he gets hurt in the postseason? Ravens are going to go like this. We're moving on. Dude, I think the kid, he's got a lot to play for, and he's got a lot to lose. Dude, nobody on this list has more to lose than him. Nobody. Anton, can I ask why Mahomes got all this praise for beating the Titans when Willis threw for 80 yards and the Titans didn't have a first down the entire second half? Well, Anton, pretty easy. Because he's built up equity where he's been to 4 straight AFC championship games. He's won a Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl MVP. And he's won a regular season MVP. That's why. That's why I say when they look at Jalen after 8 games, national media doesn't look at Jalen any other way except he's playing really well and they're having a good year. They don't look at him like a star. Mahomes is treated like a star. Mahomes is talked about, Anton, like a star. Jalen's not a star. Yet. Now let's get to Jalen. What's Jalen playing for? Here, let's do this. What's Jalen playing for? We just said Tua is playing to show the Dolphins that he can stay healthy and lead the team. And if you're Chris Greer, the general manager of the Dolphins, you've got to be impressed with Tagovailoa. I don't care how you look at it. You've got to be impressed with Tagovailoa. Lamar is playing for respect. He's paying and playing for respect. Okay? Respect. He wants his money. Jalen Hurts, what's he playing for? What's Jalen Hurts playing for right now? A bigger paycheck? Okay. A bigger paycheck? respect and money to win, they're all winning. Sheldon says 8-0 is a good start, but doesn't tell me if he can win in adverse environments versus big names. Agreed. That's the big question mark right now on Jalen Hurts. Now we moved it. You know, some of you do this. Moving the goalpost. That's because Hurts is moving the goalpost. All these guys have moved the goalpost. Expectations have changed. The same expectations that we had for Jalen Hurts at the beginning of the year, okay, the same ones we had at the beginning of the year, they're different now. How could you not think the goalpost has changed? Expectations have changed. The environment's changed. The perception has changed. Why wouldn't the goalpost changed? So when you say that, it doesn't make sense. Jalen just wants to win? Yeah, okay. What is he playing? All of these quarterbacks that we're talking about have something to play for this year. Jalen's playing to be the face of the franchise. Has he answered that question yet? Not really yet. Still, he's playing really good football. Great. He's supposed to be. Franchise quarterbacks play good every week. What do you want, a cookie? This is where the bar's changed. It's no longer this. Wow, he really had a good week. Wow, he really had a good week. Stop being surprised. Nobody says this about Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. Oh, no, they do say this. Man, you see Josh Allen against the Jets? Not a very good game. They don't say this. Allen was spectacular in that game. Okay? Because it's become habit to see him doing that. When Mahomes gets and plays a football game like he did last week and wins a ball game or comes from behind, nobody's shocked because franchise quarterbacks win games like that. I mean, right? Hurts hasn't really answered it yet. He's not playing for stats. That's what you guys say, and I agree. He's playing for wins. Well, so is every guy. He's playing for money. Well, money comes with the franchise and being the face of the franchise. I'm just going to be curious to see how this whole thing unravels here. Jalen really is the one outlier here. Lamar's playing for respect, money. Okay. He turned down $250 million. And this guy's resume is superior to Jalen Hurts's. Jalen's a JV player in resumes to a Jackson. Tua is trying to prove he's durable. So far, it hasn't happened. Jalen is playing for what? To get better every day? That sounds nice on a chalkboard. I don't think he's playing to go undefeated. I think he's playing to be the franchise. Okay? And we haven't really determined that yet. He looks at 8 games. And since the second part of the season last year, really nobody in that schedule either. You haven't really won and when you played against significant quarterbacks, you got blasted. Especially last year when you didn't have AJ. Imagine if you lose AJ down the stretch. God, you hope not, because then you'll be the same team as a year ago. His doubters, Matthew, nobody cares about doubters. Okay? When you're trying to earn a job and win a chair in the room and you're trying to be the face of a franchise, that's bigger issues to follow and try to go after. Jesse, Jalen's trying to build a dynasty. 14 free agents at the end of the year. You got a dynasty? We'll see. Geno Smith. Watch this. Geno's got something to play for. You know what that is? Respect. And to stay in the league. Geno Smith might win himself a job in Seattle. You think Pete Carroll wants to draft a rookie quarterback to have to go through the bumps and bruises again at 71 years old? I believe Pete Carroll thinks he can win with that kid Walker III and Geno. Improve his defense, improve the O-line. You got DK Metcalf up there. Get another wideout on the other side. I believe Pete Carroll thinks he can win with Geno Smith. Geno is convincing Seattle to give him $30 million when a guy was buried, thought of as not a good leader. He's playing to take all that away. That's a lot, man. And by the way, it's only 8 games too. How about Daniel Jones? How about Daniel Jones? What's Daniel Jones playing for? Well, it's 6-2 right now. The Giants are winning some games. Brian Dable is not sold on him yet. I don't think Giants are sold on him at all. But here he is at 6-2. Hey, and get this. Giants did pick his option up. So at the end of the year, he walks out the building. What if the Giants end up winning? I don't know. Say the Giants have a 14-3 record, or the Giants end up with like a 12-win season. Are you going to fire him? I think you could bring Jimmy G in there. Drew, well, wait a minute, Drew. Why doesn't Daniel Jones get the same credit that Daniel Jones also won an NFC Player of the Week award, as did Geno Smith? He's winning ball games too. He's not winning ball games as impressively as Jalen is, but he's winning. On a Giants team, we all said at the beginning of the year, I don't know, what do you want to do? Bears, Giants, right? Bears and Giants in Seattle as the worst teams in the league. Jeffy goes, I hate average quarterbacks. League's filled with them. There's like 5 elite guys. And by the way, Jeffy, average quarterbacks have won Super Bowls. Great teams win them. William says, Daniel Jones, like acquired a bit of these running quarterbacks. It's too much like college football to me. Well, that's what it's starting to evolve into, because that's why you're seeing a little bit less failure marks when it comes to some of these quarterbacks. Saquon and that defense is winning them games. Quarterback gets all the credit. You know that. So they move off him, right? So you're saying the New York Giants move off of a guy who's won an NFC Player of the Week award. His team is 6-2. What if he beats Jalen again? He's already beat Hurts. What if he beats him again? Their defense is pretty good. Their defense, tell you what, here's the 2 things the Giants can do to the Eagles. What's that? They got a good secondary. They rushed the passer with Kayvon Thibodeau, and Barkley is the best back in the NFC. What's the one thing the Eagles are not doing very well this year? Run defense. Keep Jalen and that offense on the bench. I'm not saying the Giants are going to beat them. I'm saying the Giants have the formula to beat them. Now, you know, like sports always does, he's a big crystal ball guy. Not this time. Well, the time that mattered is already in the books. We'll see. Again, I'm not a fortune teller. I got to see it to believe it. Me too. Hey, that's what I've been telling you this whole time with Hurts. I'm going to be right in the end here because the schedule gets tougher next year too. Then you're stuck with $45 million and a team that's been ripped apart because you're going to pay your quarterback because people are going to scream for it. Pay him, pay him. Okay. Then you start losing players on your team like every other team. There'll be tough decisions. That's John McClain too, the guy from, or Jeff McClain from the Inquirer. Says the same thing I'm saying. When you start paying your quarter, here, again, let me close this up here. Who has the most to play for? That's a tough question. Tua, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones. I think I agree with most of you. I think Daniel Jones, I think it's a foregone conclusion that they're moving off of him at the end of the year. Geno Smith, I still think it's up in the air if he's back in 2023. I think Pete doesn't want to go, and I don't believe that he wants to go and work in a new rookie quarterback at 71. So I think that's more leaning towards him coming back. Jalen Hurts, a lot of admiration. 8-0, no doubt. Still asking the question. People in Philly, especially in the media, very few people have even said, hey, has anyone gone on the record and said that Jalen Hurts is the franchise of the next 5 to 10 years? Has anyone in Philly gone on the record saying that the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl? Rich Eisen. Lamar Jackson. If I had to pick a guy here, I'm picking Lamar because he's put the most up. He's put a fabulous resume on the line, and he turned down $250 million. Every single time that guy steps on the field, in my opinion, he endangers everything that he's worked for. Everything. Lamar could go anywhere and start. And most franchises would want to have him. Of all these guys, Lamar Jackson has put the most on the line. Hit the like button. Hour 3. We'll reset. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
It's a fall car fest, and Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says, yes, you can. Jeff says, yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says, yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say, no, you can't, Jeff says, yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia Dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
At Sal's University, our graduates are among the most highly trained in their profession because of our unique emphasis on research, interprofessional collaboration, and early clinical exposure. Learn more about our programs at salis.edu.
Parcells, our 3 National Football Show. Appreciate everybody coming aboard, man. Thank you so much. Gonna hit on. I want to say this to you about an organization. Look, the one thing that we've been talking about, and we've been saying this the entire season, is how well the organization has dealt with the development of Jalen Hurts. Do we all agree with that? We all agree that they've done a really fine job developing the kid, right? They've all done a great job, okay? It's getting better and better. Teams winning. Multi-ways of winning. Okay? Let me show you something else here. I'm going to make a statement here about a quarterback. Man, Justin Herbert's at the wrong place. You got to get out of Los Angeles with that Charger team and the Spanoses. They wrecked Phillip Rivers' career. They fired a 14-2 Marty Schottenheimer. They completely shit the bed on the Drew Brees. Playing him in that final game, blew his shoulder out, lost all. Look at how they have handled. Eli Manning and Archie were right. I don't want to play there. Okay? I don't want to play there. Can you look, at the end of the day, I think Phillip Rivers is a better quarterback than Eli Manning. I think he's better. But no one's gonna come to that defense and go, Sills, what's he won? You're right. You can't, because look, Jerry Reese and Tom Coughlin were stable in New York. Wellington Mara and John Mara at the time, all of them were alive. They were working together. They had a good organization. Remember, at the end of the day, in the NFC East, they did win 2 Super Bowls there. And I'm talking about Coughlin's era. Tom Coughlin has just as good an era of football as Bill Parcells did. What did Bill Parcells do exactly more than Tom Coughlin? I'll wait. What did he do in New York? I mean, Tom did just as much. He gets less of the fanfare because why? Parcells is great in front of a mic. Coughlin's not. Hardcore guy, Marine dude, you know? Right? The Spanoses have done what? Dude, do you know the quarterback that got the team to its only Super Bowl, what his name is? His name is Stan Humphries. That franchise has had Dan Fouts, Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees. They didn't do shit with it. LaDainian Tomlinson, Vincent Jackson, Junior Seau. Look at all these players Antonio Gates. Dude, they've had a boatload of good football players. Rodney Harrison. JM says Parcells was better at finding talent. He didn't do more. He didn't do more. I don't know. Michael Strahan was a pretty good football player. Hey, and by the way, Lawrence Taylor, Parcells doesn't get credit for Lawrence Taylor. Ray Perkins drafted him. Ray Perkins drafted Phil Simms. Ray Perkins drafted Mark Bavaro. No, that's a Parcells guy. Okay? He didn't draft Lawrence Taylor. He didn't draft Lawrence Taylor. That was Ray Perkins. Ray drafted him. He doesn't, yeah. Everyone's always under the assumption because Parcells won those Super Bowls with LT. He was a linebacker coach. I think he was a linebacker coach. And by the way, Bill Parcells was hired by Ray, and so was Belichick. He brought those two to New York. What? The Maras didn't. Ray did. Parcells made the Jets good? I guess. I guess. You're going to trash Parcells now? No. How am I trashing Parcells? By saying that Coughlin did as much? Who was the most significant player that Bill Parcells drafted in New York, Paul? Who? Carl Banks? Okay. Who else? Let me think. Well, he shit the bed on wideouts. Brevard was good. Jumbo Elliott was good. Otis Anderson was a free agent. Kerry Collins. Parcells was a great coach. Tiki Barber was drafted by Tom Coughlin. Jim Burt. Otis Anderson wasn't drafted. He was a free agent. Brian, I'm talking, okay, you're talking New York Jets. Okay, Brian Cox, I guess. Dave Meggett. Rodney Hampton. That guy's you write home about. And Kerry Collins was a Panther. Who did Bill draft again? He didn't draft Lawrence Taylor. Harry Carson was already there. Harry Carson was already in the building, along with Brad Van Pelt. Curtis Martin is probably the best player he's ever drafted. Agreed. Okay? Thank you, Danny. Everyone always likes to they're like the revisionist of how you look at people and how you look at. Bill was good. I'm not saying he wasn't good. But to say he was head and heels above developing, he didn't draft Phil Simms. He didn't draft Lawrence Taylor. He didn't draft any of them guys. He walked into those guys. Hey, I become the head coach and Lawrence Taylor's on it. I'm pretty good with that. Hey, who's your top player? LT? Okay. I think we're going to win some ball games. Too bad Ray Hanley didn't see that, right? He won with the Jets. What did he win? Wake me up. What did he win in New York? Hey, as a matter of fact, it's a good one, JM. Because you know why? In the 60-plus years as head coaches go, the Jets have only had really one winning coach in the history, and that includes Wee Bubank. It is Bill Parcells. I think Al Groh has a 9-7 year in there. I think he coached 1 year, then they fired him for whatever reason. But Parcells is the only winningest coach, or the only coach with a winning record in Jets history. The rest of them have all been terrible. Marion Barber? I thought Marion Barber was drafted by the Cowboys. Parcells drafted where? When was this? With the Jets? Oh, with the Cowboys. I was talking New York, but okay. Where's a good player? He's a Hall of Fame caliber type guy. Parcells won everywhere he went. What did Coughlin do in Jacksonville? Well, just as much as Bill did. He took a team to the AFC Championship game in Jacksonville. You forgot that? He took a team to the AFC Championship game with Mark Brunell. You must have forgot that. You must have forgot it, right? Of course you did. Like the revised history. In New York, he didn't do shit when it came to drafting. He didn't. Now, look, again, Carl Banks and Pepper Johnson and Jumbo, they were good. They're good players, man. They're great players, actually. That's right. Jacksonville went to the AFC Championship game in just the second year in existence. Second year in existence, Coughlin put the Jaguars in the AFC Championship game. I don't know. Sounds pretty impressive to me. Parcells, look at what he did in Miami when he was the executive president of the Miami Dolphins. How'd that go? My point is, when you're in bad organization, Jalen's in a great situation. That's the point I'm trying to make, not sitting here talking about Parcells. My point is that Jalen is in a pretty good position here. Okay? This organization doesn't like to spend a shitload of money. They will. But they're more moving money around. And the reason that Howie, what do you think the reason that Howie has had the success that he's had? What would you give a grade for Howie Roseman in his 22 years in Philly? What would the grade be? What would the grade be for Howie Roseman in his 22 years in Philadelphia? What would you give him? What would you give Howie Roseman as a guy who was first a cap dude, got into personnel, became a GM, was told to sit down for a bit, came back, and really did some good things building the team? Dan, do you think we're one and done? No, I don't. B. B+. Tony Baselli was the first player taken in Jacksonville history. B. B-. Ibanez, Howie's grade for me would be a B. B+. B+. Hey, Sills. Big Sills. Parcells drafted George Young. George Young was the general manager before. He took over for my uncle, Andy Robustelli. So that's okay. He took over for Robustelli. And George Young hired Ray Perkins. And Ray was the guy that wanted Lawrence Taylor, and no one wanted Lawrence Taylor because they had Van Pelt, Gary Reasons, and Harry Carson. They were loaded at linebacker. But they still took Taylor with the second pick because Ray wanted him. Facts, I know. I was drafted by Ray. A. Sills, do you think the Chip Kelly era? What do you think of the Chip Kelly era? Chip just didn't realize that you can't run 85 plays. You're going to kill your team. Chip didn't understand the NFL system. It's a marathon, not a sprint. In college, you could put 85 guys and you can run 85 plays because you have 100 guys on scholarship. You've got a roster that you have to manage. He didn't understand the managing of a roster. That Chip Kelly actually got out to a pretty decent start, but then it faded because he didn't understand how to manage a roster. And it fell apart. And one of the biggest problems that you do when you give a guy that much power, dude, you're a coach. You're not the personnel director. You're not the quarterback guru. You're a coach. Act like it. Delegate. Do those things. Howie drafted Jefferson. Hey, if he would have taken Jefferson, Danny, and Parsons, think about how people would be looking at him if he drafted instead of Devontae. And again, Devontae, no shame. I mean, it's hindsight now. Both guys are good. The other guy's better. But imagine if he had drafted Justin Jefferson and Michael Parsons. Those two guys would have changed everything for him. He's not a very good draft guy. I mean, the people in the media in Philly are so afraid of the Eagles that they're afraid to say that. He's not a great drafting guy. He's just not. The last 2 years have been good. Okay? I mean, they've been good. Landon Dickerson is good. Devontae's good. I think Jordan Davis is going to be good. Nakobe Dean, I don't know. Keep doing this. Watch this. I don't know. Guy can't see the field, like ever. Okay. I mean, Fletcher, he didn't draft Fletcher. Andy Reid was kind of wasn't Kelsey drafted by Andy, or was it Chip? Chip was in charge of everything then. Linebackers he doesn't believe in. Cornerback play hasn't been hot. Avonte Maddox, okay. Right? Andy, thank you, Banya. So Andy drafted him. Andy had pretty much control. Andy has control in Kansas City. Nah, Matthew, he's not leaving the team. He won't leave the team. He's too good a dude, and he wants to be in there. Andy and Banner drafted Fletcher. Okay. On my point. My point on look, Howie is good at building a roster. He does it with free agency, though. He's limited in how he drafts. That's why he got 14 free agents at the end of the year. This is not a team that was built like the Steelers. Or what's a team out there? Then again, I'm gonna make a point to you that it's kind of built like the Rams and the Bucks. The only difference, they're not going to be in cap hell like those two teams. I mean, look, 14 free agents at the end of the year. This team's going to be completely different. It's going to be completely different at the end of the season. Who cares we're winning? Okay. You're winning what? You're winning ball games. Yes. 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 Wake me up when you've won a chip. Wake me up when you're there again. Okay? This thing is a moving target. And like I said, one of the things that you always have to look at, you're in a good... Howie does a really good job at looking at mistakes. Look at what he did. He looked at mistakes in the secondary after the Super Bowl. Had shitty corners. Couldn't draft a guy to save his life. So what did he do? He brings in Bradbury and Darius Slay. Steals Slay from the Lions. Brilliant move. Bradbury pissed off at New York. 1-year deal. Find CJ. Free or trade. He went after proven players. He didn't draft them. He didn't draft them at all. He needed linebackers. He got an unheralded, undrafted free agent and TJ Edwards. Do you think he really saw that? And he went out and got Kaiser White. Look what he did. He drafted Nakobe. I am not going to say Nakobe Dean sucks. I am not there. I haven't seen him enough to say that. How about I say this to you about Nakobe Dean? I think it sucks he doesn't play. I do. I think it sucks he doesn't play. Don't you guys have a problem with him not playing? How come nobody brings that up? I thought he was the steal of the draft. Howie's done a great job. Okay. Well, the Jurgens kid looks real. Well, we saw him he was in the Detroit game, right? He looks good. I think he's going to be a player. I'll tell you what, Landon Dickerson has surprised me. Landon Dickerson has surprised me. Am I right when I say this? Landon Dickerson's a Florida State kid, right? I think I remember him at FSU. I don't remember him being that good at Florida State. I don't remember. Now, you got to remember something. The reason why Landon Dickerson is a Philadelphia Eagle. No, he's an Alabama guy. Dickerson's an Alabama guy. I thought he was a Florida State kid. Thought he was a Florida State guy. Look, he is in a great place because the organization around him, okay? The organization around him. I'm talking Jalen here. Okay? Yeah, I thought he was. He thought he's a Florida State guy. Yeah, he was in Tuscaloosa. Landon was in Tuscaloosa. Okay. Razor, Kaiser White are huge liabilities in the run game. Just check out their stats. But they're not going to have to worry about that because they're not playing anybody. You're not playing against elite quarterbacks here. You're not. You're not playing against the elite guys. So you're not going to have to concern yourself with that. You're not. You're not. How about this one? Let's move over here to this. Like Justin Herbert. It all circles back to where I was with Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert needs to get the hell out of Los Angeles. Okay? He needs to get the hell out of there. Not very good, in my opinion. They're not helping him. Jalen Hurts is getting all the tools put around him to succeed. Look at what you have in Los Angeles. You got Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, and you got a coach who's in over his skis. Okay? If I'm Justin Herbert, I want out of LA. Put me on a football team and send me somewhere where I can win some ball games. Or you know what's going to happen to Justin Herbert? He's going to be Phillip Rivers. Justin Herbert's going to sit in Los Angeles with the Chargers going nowhere. And you guys are, in 4 years from now, are going to be saying this about Justin Herbert. He's Kirk Cousins. He doesn't win anything. Well, look at the organization he's with. What have they ever won? What have they won? But he's got to get out of there because I do think he's elite. I think he's a great player, man. I'd love to see your revised list of who the Eagles would beat of all the teams in the NFL like you did at the start of the season. Let's do it right now. I like that. I like that, actually. NFL standings.
The Bills are leading the AFC.
I actually like that. Watch it. Let's write them down. Could the Eagles beat the Bills? How about this? Let's play it like this. An opinion on whether they will beat them versus can they is two different things, right? Can the Eagles beat this team? Is different than, hey, Dan, do you think the Bills can beat the Eagles? You know what I'm saying? Can they beat the Bills? Yes. Can they beat the Jets? I'm going to go like this. Yes, no. Can they beat the Dolphins? Yes. Patriots? Yes. Chiefs? No. Chargers? Yes. Broncos? Yes. Raiders? Yes. Ravens? The Ravens. Got to keep opinion out of it. Okay, because like I said, it's not like you haven't played anybody. I think the Ravens. I don't think you could beat the Ravens. I think you could beat the Bengals. I think you could beat I think you could beat the Browns. You've already beaten the Steelers. You could beat the Titans. You could beat the Colts, the Jags, the Texans. Beat the Cowboys already. Beat the Giants. Beat the Commanders. Beat the Seahawks. I don't think you can beat the 49ers. Rams, yes. Cardinals, yes, already have. Vikings, yes. Packers, yes. Beginning of the year, I would have said no. Bears, yes. Lions already have. Can you beat the Bucks? Can you beat Brady in a playoff game? Can you beat? Lost 4 games. So, who cares? I don't care how many games you lost. Get into the postseason. Records? Oh, well, we got the best record. We're the best team. Not likely. Never pans out every year. Best record usually doesn't win the Super Bowl. Can you beat Brady in the postseason? Can you wait? So you're taking Jalen Hurts over Tom Brady in a 60-minute football playoff game? Dude. No way. No way. Falcons, yes. Saints, yes. Panthers, yes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Beat 27 teams. 4 teams I think you'd struggle with. 4 teams. That's a far cry from the beginning of the year. Yeah, you guys, you take Jalen over Brady. Go ahead. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. That sounds right. Yeah. Team game plus Hurts redemption game, shall say. Sills, if we get home field and have to go through Brady and San Francisco to the Super Bowl, well, that solidified the Eagles. You damn right. You beat Brady and the Niners. Jalen Hurts is a slam dunk to get all the things he wants. Absolutely. You beat Brady and you beat the Niner team that probably has more stars on it than you. Yes. He will have done it. Yeah. Beating Cooper Rush. Yeah. Cooper Rush. How about if you did this? Hey, right? Xander, here's the yellow brick road for Jalen Hurts to his money. Brady, divisional game at the Link. The Niners in the NFC Championship game. And he turns around and beats Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen in the Super Bowl. You would have gone through quarterbacks that people revere higher than him, are bigger stars than him, kind of what we started our show off with. If he goes through that gauntlet of teams, it'll be the better gauntlet than the 17 team even went through. Even though you had to beat Brady in the game, Xander's like $50 million guaranteed a year. Who'd you guys have to play in the playoffs in 17? Can you guys tell me? Didn't you guys have to play like Case Keenum? Who was the other guy you had to pay to play in that thing? I get it, Brady, but wasn't it like the backup NFC championship game? It was Nick Foles versus like Case Keenum, wasn't it? For the NFC championship? Right? It was Case Keenum and Nick Foles. That's something to write home about. You beat Brady. Okay. Oh, it was the Falcons? Okay, well, he was an MVP. He was an MVP. Call me when Mahomes wins a chip. He has. Call me when Mahomes has won a chip. He has. Sills, it doesn't matter who we played. We are always garbage. Nobody said you're garbage. Matty Ice. MVP, baby. Minnesota had the top defense, but they had Case Keenum. Vikings, Falcons. So you went Vikings, Falcons. This time around, you may have to go Bucks, Niners, Ravens, or Bills and Chiefs. This is a tougher road to the Super Bowl championship. It'll be a tougher road. Are you one and done? That's what got people saying. Matty Ice and Case Keenum. Hey, it's like this list. This is my favorite list of the day. This is my favorite list. The quarterbacks in line for the Eagles over the next weeks going out the rest of the season. Tyler Heineke. Dude, where do you guys lose a game? Where do you guys lose a game? How about that? Can you imagine if you go undefeated and you get into the postseason and get bounced in the opening round? Oh, God. Oh, Brady, how about this? You go undefeated. You play Brady in a while. You play Brady in the opening round and he bounces you in the opening or the divisional round because you'll get the bye. Tyler Heineke, Sam Ellinger, Effin Salmon. What's his name? Sam. What's that guy's name? Sam Ellinger. I remember him. Texas Longhorn. Okay, I got it. Pothead Rogers. Ryan Tannehill. Daniel Jones. Justin Fields. Dak Prescott. I don't even know who the quarterback is in New Orleans. And Daniel Jones again. And you get bumped in the divisional round of the playoffs. I don't know. Bring on Brady at the link. They're not the same team. So you think Brady won't man up in the playoffs? You want to bet on that? So you would take Jalen over Brady in a playoff game, 60 minutes of football. Hey, Danny. Dude, Danny, if they beat Brady, then the Niners, or the Niners, then Brady. Say you played Brady in the NFC Championship game. Then you played Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl and you won. Big Sills would have to wave the white flag. I'll make a deal with you. I'll wave the white flag if that happens. Do we have it? I'll wave the white flag if that happens. You beat Brady in the postseason. I think Buccaneers are going to catch Atlanta. They're tied right now at 4-5. I agree. They're not hot. That thing's been a mash unit all year. I can't believe it's above water right now. Maybe with the divorce behind Brady. I don't know. Brady gets equity with me, though. You know why? There's 7 reasons. I don't have to explain them to you. That's right. Hey, Nick, you should want Brady. Hey, Danny. So you beat here. I don't want to. I want it to be epic. We'll invite Giselle to sit in the box at the link. Oh, my gosh, with an Eagle jersey on, right? Oh, man. Hey, Xander, right? With an Eagle jersey on, too, right? By the way, to deviate a little bit, Justin Verlander's old lady is iconic. Okay, Kate Upton. Okay, did you see her giving that Eagle fan the birds and all that back in her guy? It's a family show. It's a family show. Whew. She's smoking. Real quick story on Kate Upton. I know her. Here's how. So every year, you know the Arnold Palmer Invitational? It's there in Orlando. Okay? Well, Arnold Palmer is the person that discovered her. And Arnold Palmer was the person that put her in touch with IMG. And she used to come around the golf tournament all the time. Her and Arnold Palmer were very tight friends. I believe she may even be from Orlando. But she would show up to the Arnold Palmer Invitational. I think it was called the Bay Hill Classic back then. And I would show up and broadcast from Bay Hill because Mr. Palmer used to have me come by. He'd walk up to me. Arnold Palmer. I used to call him Mr. Palmer every time I saw him. He'd have his dog Mulligan with him. And he'd sit down with me. It was never scheduled. And Arnold Palmer would sit down with me and go, and I'd stop my show, whatever the hell I was doing, because Arnold Palmer's there, right? And he'd walk his dog, and he lived right there on the premises. And Arnold Palmer sit down, and he goes like this, hey, I want you to meet somebody. It's a friend of mine. Here's Kate Upton. Big Sills was like, why don't you sit down here too? Oh, Mr. Palmer has been the best to me. He's helped my career so much. Oh, my God. She used to come by all the time. Outstanding woman. Really a great person. Kate Upton is great. And Arnold did a lot for her. He really did. Arnold Palmer is one of the nicest men I've ever met. Okay? One of the nicest men. Anytime I needed anything, donations, anytime I needed stuff when I was raising money, Arnold Palmer would be the first guy there, always putting money into Kitty. He was always there. I needed something, Arnold Palmer's there. He was a dear friend, man. And we did so much with Bay Hill when I worked at iHeart back in the day. I worked at iHeart for 17 years. I know. Sills was always getting fired. I was there 17 years. Yeah. Arnold Palmer's a great man. Really, really admired him and really loved being around him. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt. So you guys want to give her a jersey, put her in the link, and have her rooting against her old guy, Brady. No, then what you should do is you should bring in there and have somebody in there like AB. AB sitting in the booth too with him. Right? BY guy. Hey, Andrew. You know what, Andrew? When you're around pro athletes and then you're into business 33 years like I am, it's pretty crazy on the people that you run into. Okay, I want to take a quick time out here. Let's take a time out, talk a little bit about tonight's game, reset a little bit more here. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Philadelphia fans were cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Fall Car Fest. And Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says, yes, you can. Jeff says, yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says, yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say, no, you can't, Jeff says, yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.
My wife was in an accident that changed our lives forever. She was in rehabilitation for years. She had to learn to walk again. She couldn't take care of herself. We couldn't afford a nurse. We were running out of options. One conversation with Pond Lee Hockey changed everything. They understood what we were going through and immediately helped us navigate the legal process. We can't thank them enough.
Pond Lee Hockey. Tell us your story.
The faces you know. The team you trust. The Delaware Valley's leading news program. Action News.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Welcome back. National Football Show. It's your boy Big Sills. Appreciate you guys stepping in with us. Please hit the like button. Thank you so much. So if Green Bay loses to the Cowboys this week, is it time for Jordan Love? Eventually, don't you have to find out if he can play? I mean, how many years are you going to go on with this? You drafted a guy in the first round that never sees the field. What was it? What was it? He played a year ago, some suspension, or Rodgers was hurt. I forget what happened. I can't remember, but Love played a couple games. Is it time for? Would you do this? You're paying a guy $50 million. Okay, and you know what? For the record, I'm not really an Aaron Rodgers basher. You know why the media bashes him, right? Well, it's like I always tell you, there's always an objective why a media guy would bang on someone. And for me, I want to tell you this. It's not really bashing Jalen. Jalen's very topical. I don't talk about people who don't resonate. Seriously, if you're a nobody, like Baker Mayfield, what's the point? Jalen Hurts is starting to become a star. He's not yet. He's going to be, but he's at the beginning. Rodgers is a polarizing guy. But here's why the media hates. I don't hate Rodgers. I think he's a jerk. I think he's a bad teammate. I don't hate him. I don't know him. But here's why they don't like him. Aaron don't go on very many other shows. He goes on Pat McAfee. And so, Colin Cowherd starts his show out every day banging on that guy. The same way Skip Bayless bangs on LeBron James. And right now, get this. Look how idiotic a guy like Skip Bayless looks banging on a guy in his 20th year. He's got 4 NBA titles, numerous awards, and he's going to be the all-time leading scorer. So wait, you're going to bang on you know what? I don't like his political views, but here's what LeBron and who LeBron James is. He's delivered 3 NBA championships to 3 different franchises. He's been the finals MVP in every one of those games that he's led those teams to. He's going to be the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. I never thought that would be broken, Kareem's record. And what's Bayless do? Rip on him in his 20th year. How can he do that? This guy's had a sensational career. Is he Jordan? Maybe not. My eyes, he's not. I mean, shit, man. The greatest players in the NBA history, that's a tough task to sit there and say that to. Okay? Brady owned Peyton Manning's record in the postseason, not that good. But the reason they hate Aaron Rodgers, right, watch this. It's a great point, Danny. People in the media don't kill Peyton Manning for having a one game above 500 record like they do Aaron Rodgers. He's won one Super Bowl. Joe Namath didn't win. Joe Namath's got one. Warren Moon has none. Dan Marino has none. Okay? But because he goes on a show and limits his access, that's why one radio station in Philly bangs on the Eagles more than the other, because you know why? The team won't put him on that station. That's why they hit him. They're not going to do that with the Sixers, though. Who watches the NBA sales? Wake me up in June. That's what I say, Nick. Yeah, boy, LeBron has been a great ambassador to the sport. Has he brought the same? Here's the one thing I'll say to you about LeBron. He hasn't brought the same excitement that Bird and Magic and Michael Jordan brought. As a matter of fact, more people tune off and tune out the NBA today. They tune those guys out more than they watch the game today. I'm working on Pat getting on the show. Pat's busy, man. He does game day now on Saturdays. He's traveling. You know what I love about Pat McAfee, Anton? So the people at Sirius, can I tell you you want me to tell you a Pat McAfee story? I'll tell you a Pat McAfee story. And why he's married to the same thing we're doing here. And we're trying to build towards being something like that. So I knew, and I know the people at Sirius. And they're very, let's just say this, guarded on who goes on that network. Not the executives so much, but the producers. And behind Pat's back, the producers were trying to sabotage his show being on that Sirius satellite all the time. Made it a nightmare for him. Finally, he just went like this. You know what? F it. I'm pulling it. He pulled it. Done. I don't need him. He does it. And I was like, dude, that's so gangster great. He goes, yeah, man, I'm sick and tired of getting emails from people at Sirius when I don't want to answer to anybody. And I go, he goes, man, those producers since day one, I think he went from Westwood, if I'm not mistaken, I think Westwood syndicated him. And then Sirius picked it up. I told him, I said, it'll be a horrible idea because people in New York do not like you. You've said some outlandish things before in the past, and you're going to continue. You drink beer on your show and shit like that. He drinks beers, he's in a tank top. They hated him. They totally hated him. And so Brady, look at what Brady does. He goes on a podcast, his own podcast. Brady does this. Brady used to have a radio show at WEI. He came on the show, and when I hosted it a couple times up at EEI, I did the mornings up there, and Brady would come on. Actually gave me a pair of Uggs. Big Sills don't wear Uggs, okay? Just so you know, it's just, it's not working. Tune out when Brady's playing. I don't like cheaters. Guy never cheated in his life. I don't know. In his personal life, never cheated. Well, he had 2 extra PSI in his football. I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure that extra pound of air in the football was responsible for 6 Super Bowls. Yeah. The extra. I'll tell you what a quarterback does as soon as he gets the footballs every year. You know what he does, Free? I saw Phillip Rivers do it. As soon as they open them, they start scuffing them on the sidewalks. to get the finish off the balls. Kept hitting him. Philip, I go, what are you doing? He goes, well, it's too slick. The footballs are always slick when they come out of the box. So he's scuffing them up. And he kept scuffing the footballs up. And I go, what do you do? And he goes, well, I like a little extra, I like it actually underweight and a little bit less on what the poundage should be. Quarterbacks take air in and out. Aaron Rodgers likes more air into football too. Uggs, man, I don't know. Uggs, man. Deflategate? Hey, you know what, too? Hey, get this, man. I spent 2 years of my life talking about deflated balls on my program. I wish I could get those 2 years back. I wish I could get those 2 years back, dude. Would rather see the Cowboys lose than see us win. Who are you talking about? Should be triple compensation. Why not just rename the program Big Sills Hour? Like Mr. Rogers? Hello, boys and girls. Put our feet in the little bath, tub there, or the swimming pool with our feet out. This is Big Sills Hour. We're going to talk about Jalen Hurts. Look at how good of a man he is. He's only 8-0. But wow, he's a wonderful guy. Oh, unbelievable. One of the best. Oh my God, I love him. Sensational. I have a debate. One last question here. It's Falcons and Panthers tonight. What should I do? It's Falcons and Panthers. I think I'm going to be compelled to watch this thing. I'll pick the Falcons because I'm going with Marcus Mariota. Okay? So I'll do that. I can't watch. I don't know. Yeah, it's football, dude. It's football. I appreciate everybody coming aboard. Thank you so much. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. We'll catch you tomorrow. Xander, great stuff. We'll catch you tomorrow going 3 to 6, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Since